Okay, so before I press play, you might notice something new at the top, so I'm going to go through this with you. So one good thing is that now you can't build railways twice, which you might remember was an issue from last time. And you can't build cities twice, you can't upgrade a city twice, things like that. So I've fixed the construction issue. And then, okay, this is a bug though. This shouldn't be visible. You might remember last time I said how interact doesn't do anything yet, but I was planning to do something with it. Now, interact does do something. If I click on this tank here, as you can see, a little thing comes up at the top of the screen. This is basically just the tank, but it's green. If you click on contents, you can see what's inside of it. So this is the soldier that's inside. And if you press on to, so if I close this down, I go over like here or whatever. If you press on find, it will go to the square where the tank is and open up the menu. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that it's green in the menu too, to show you that it's selected. Now you can deselect it and it'll go away. You can select it again, you can select something else, etc. Oh wait, I've got a theory. Yeah, so if I'm not in full screen, then this is hidden properly. But when I move to full screen, it changes the proportions and the code doesn't notice that. So I think I need to check if the size of the screen is changing. So yeah, you can select things. I'll go out of full screen so it looks normal. You can select things, deselect things, see what's inside of something. Basically it's this menu here, but up here. And you can't do any actions up here, just where this is. So what selecting is going to do is, I can't remember if I said this last time, but you can select something and then click onto something else. So if I select this truck here, and then I kick out this foreign soldier, then what I can do is there'll be a button here to attack and a button here to mount. Now if this soldier was like a boat, then it would let me mount because a truck can go onto a boat, if that makes sense. But obviously a truck can't go onto a soldier. And there will also be an attack button, so I can select this truck and then press attack on the soldier to make my truck attack the soldier, and it will run some checks, but that's basically how attacking will work. And you need to attack because if you want to claim someone's land, then you can only claim it if they have no soldiers on there, or no trucks, no tanks, etc. You need to completely kill everything on the enemy square. However, if there is an enemy there, you can still move through the square. So you need to have enough soldiers and things on the front lines to stop people from just walking through. So this is what I've done so far. Now let's get into the code side. So if we go into Starter GUI and look at military menu, this is normally just the panel, which is this menu here that shows up on the side when you click on something. But I added a second frame, and this is selected equipment. What I did for this is just went into templates here and duplicated the equipment template, put it in here, scaled it down, put it at the top, and changed some things. And what this does is it hides away at the top of the screen, like this menu here, the military menu, and it pops out if you have something selected, and it hides away if you deselect it. It has a value here that links, it's an object value, and it links to the actual piece of equipment on the board that you've selected. So if I select this truck and I go into my player GUI, then this equipment has value 1. This isn't actually just the number 1. This has a file path, as you can see. Workspace.board.squares.4/3.values.equipment.1. So if I go to workspace, board, squares, 4/3, values, equipment 1, this is what the value inside of the selected equipment is linking to. And there is also a link to this specific thing within the normal menu. So what it can do is when it's loading in all of the equipment in the list, like here, when it's loading in these, what it does is it checks if the value stored for this thing is the same as the value stored in the selected item. And if they're the same, then it makes this green to show that this is what's selected, and it lets you deselect it. As for code, this is basically the same script as this. There's just a few changes to localize it to its own purpose. Oh, one thing I fixed is screen orientation changing. I made this probably more complicated than I needed to, but before it didn't work at all. I can't show you this because I'm on PC right now, but on a phone, if you turned the phone sideways, then your UI would just completely break down and it would go like off the screen. Then you click on a button and it wouldn't fix itself. So you just had to stay in the same UI, screen orientation the whole way, so you couldn't turn its portrait or sideways. So I managed to fix this and I implemented this into the construction and military menu too. The one thing that this does different is that it doesn't just open the menu, it also sets all of these values. So it sets what the equipment is, the HP of it, the owner, etc. Because there's not like a list. This opens up the menu and then there's a list inside of it. But this menu is the list, if that makes sense. It is just this, so it needs to set it in this script. And then on selected equipment, I changed the colors manually. This is just by default green, as you can see at the top. When it comes to panel, inside of this thing, which is what adds all of the equipments in the list here, I added in 3 colors here. They show up here in a little square. So there's 3 different colors. There's dark, medium, and light. So dark is the text, medium is like a background, and light is this, but in sub-equipment, medium and light are flipped around. And then these colours are, so basically I have 3 lines here. I have everything here in commas, and then you have to have the same amount on each side, but I just put this colour. So it's changing all of these things to this colour, all of these things to this colour, etc. And it does this, as I was saying earlier, if both of the menus have the same value. And that's about it for the new system. How I fixed the bug with building things twice is down here is like the end of the bit where you build something, and I just added a parameter into the update title thing, and the update title just changes the text. And if this is true, then it has the button text as like 5 lines and it returns, so it will just instantly say that you can't build anything. And in addition to that, because that would just change how it appears to you, what I did also is, originally it was just this, but here I made it check that there was no rail on the square, so you can't just build it while something's already there, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's about it. So now I'm gonna quickly fix that issue that we had a second ago. So I fixed it for this. So if I go ahead and play, and I'm in, wait, no, I need to be out of full screen. So I'm out of full screen now. If I play, then it's obviously out of sight like normal. But if I zoom in, you'll see it like come up here for a second, like it was before. But then it will detect that that's happened, and it will move it back. Yeah, perfect. As you can see, it's hidden away now. Yeah, I don't think it's running a check in here. So what I'm gonna do is just add in the same function. Okay, so I don't think I'll be able to tell the difference, but it should be working for all of these 3 menus here. Basically what I did is, with my camera thing here, I have a screen measurer. If I make the transparency like 0.5, you still can't see it. Oh, it's not visible, that's why. So if I make this 0.5, you can see I've just got this panel that covers the entire screen. It's a 0, 0, 0, 0. And it's 1010 in scale. This makes it cover the entire screen, and basically what I have is, so I copied this over to military menu into selected equipment, and what I do is I just get this, I make a variable for this copy that I made, and then if this is changed, then connect to the function that fixes it when the phone moves, if that makes sense. This function existed before, and all my new addition is doing is just calling this from a second trigger. What this does is it cancels any animations that are playing, and it sets it to either open or close, depending on whether menu open variable is or true or false. And then I copied that into the panel thing here for military menus and the construction menu too. The way this works is, if the screen size changes, then obviously this size won't change, but there's this property called absolute size, which is like how many pixels it is across and up. So that would change, because if it doesn't change, then the screen's not changing itself anyway. So these the number of pixels that this is taking up would change, which is a property that would fire. So that means this would fire the .changed event, which can trigger the function that I linked it to. So yeah, that's all for today. Come back next time.